Welcome back to Dungeon Master's Corner. Today, we look into the complex art of developing NPCs that the PCs will love. Or that we can use as vengeance against them.
Welcome back to another DM Corner. I'm Nicole.
I'm Brian.
And today, we're going to talk a little bit about NPC creation and what actually spawned one of my creations with the assistance of both Brian and Andrew.
Spoilers, it was alcohol and spite.
A lot of alcohol and spite. So this was for my Tal'Dorei group, my original Tal'Dorei group. Now there's a new version, which actually we should share some stories from there at some point.
We should.
Because that is fun.
Once we play more and actually have stories. Besides
getting set on fire.
Every time.
Yep. 4 sessions, 4 times getting set on fire. It's great.
By my own party! Anyway.
But this was with my party of a wild magic sorceress by the name of Asper, a charismatic tiefling bard who tried to use charm person on everybody named Karis. No relation to the other Karis that we know of, that we've spoken about.
And just so you're sure, he didn't try to use it on everybody named Karis. He was named Karis and tried to use it on everybody.
Exactly. A halfling fighter by the name of Braywin.
Now she had an axe, a hammer, what was it?
He was a hammer. His name was Alric.
She always said it was an axe. What's a sword?
Oh. And she wondered why that sentient weapon had no respect for her. None. 0. And then there was a tiefling ranger cleric, then got switched out for a human gunslinger when the story felt appropriate. So at the time of meeting him, the NPC in question, we had the gunslinger Absinthe. So Asper's story was that she was a half-elf raised in Singorn, because this is the Critical Role universe. She was being raised in the city of High Elves. And part of that nobility was her father wanted her to get married. And she didn't want to do that. You know, typical fantasy trope of, I don't actually want to marry my betrothed, I'm going to be an adventurer.
I want to ride through the glen on horseback, firing arrows into the sunset.
Exactly. I want to explore the world. I don't want to marry this guy. She kept describing her fiancé as boring. He's as exciting as toast, which, let's be real, actually, toast can be amazing. You can do so much with toast.
Please don't try to sell us on toast. We're millennials. we live off of bread. We got this.
Oh, yeah.
Put a little avocado on it. We're completely we're out of our minds.
My dude.
If only I could
jelly
afford a house.
just melted. Jelly melted on toast. Oh, don't get me started. Anyway, actually, bread is a whole other joke with that Tal'Dorei group, but that's for a later thing. Oh God, I could tell that story too.
Later.
Anyway, later. So she's explaining, like, for like the dishes, he just wanted like this off-white, this beige, like it's boring. He's boring. He only studies. And I'm sitting here listening to her go on and on about this guy, and I'm just like, making a note that when they meet him, because they were gonna meet him eventually, he is going to be amazing. He is going to be like nothing that she said. Just because I thought it'd be fun. It'd be funny and a foil to her, and I was still kind of new at DMing. So I went to the people that I knew who were good at character creation.
Mistake.
You say mistake, I say amazing. Brian and Andrew helped me create Fenric, the Abjuration Wizard. And he is so... Honestly, he's one of my favorite NPCs from that game.
I believe you were building Fenric around the time I was building Simon. You can pop back and listen to our wizard building episode.
Yeah. Which is when you taught me about abjuration wizards. Because I didn't really know. I'm like, he's gonna be studying a lot, so I'm like, wizard. That makes sense. He'd be a wizard. And that's why the sorceress doesn't get along with the wizard as well. You know, the one who has to work hard for his magic versus the one who is just given magic by her blood. Friction, a little bit of fun there.
There's a little bit of, hate. There's a little bit of hate. Let's be honest, it's hate. They hate each other.
Oh, a little bit of hate, a little bit. But see, this whole campaign started around the time of Whitestone's liberation from the Briarwoods in the timeline. It was only supposed to be a one-shot that became a campaign, so I'm like, now I have the world events to consider, like the Chroma Conclave attacking. Yikes. My group of level 4s and 5s are going to die horribly if they try to help in this conflict. So let me get them off the continent. Let me get them somewhere else. So they charter a ship from Stillbend and start heading towards Marquette, because there's no Chroma Conclave activity in Marquette. That's safe. That's fine. En route, Asper gets a message via sending by Fenric, who heard about what happened and wanted to know where she was and that she was safe. So she's trying to downplay it. She does eventually mention where they're going. And he's like, okay, I have friends there. Go to the Summerridge home. They can help you.
Oh.
I'll meet you there.
Oh. See, I remember that name. I made that name.
Yes, you did. So, but here's the thing. The whole fact that Fenric was able to meet her there was, one, he stayed behind in the material plane, because when the Chroma Conclave attacks the world, essentially, Singorn uprooted the city and stuck it in the Feywild for safekeeping. He stayed behind because he wanted to help her. Is that the actions of a boring man? Let me ask.
Well, it's also the actions of quite a doting man.
Mm-hmm. Somebody who actually cares about his betrothed.
There's anger, there's dislike based on certain personality traits, but person's a person. This was a person that he was going to be bonded with. You have to at least try to get along.
You have to at least try, and especially with elves and such, their lives are long.
He'd outlive her anyway. He just had to put up with that marriage for 200 years, he'd be fine.
Couple hundred, yeah. It'd be fine. But so he wanted to make sure that she was safe, lend any aid, because he was good at protection magic.
Abjuration wizard, best wizard. Fight me.
Yes. I mean...
It's the longest living character I've had in that campaign. Let me tell you something. Simon,
that's
Abjuration
true.
Wizard, best wizard. Abria has taught me many good things.
This is true. I was going to say, I would like to quibble about evocation, but yeah. So, we get to Marquette. Anyway, we get to Marquette and they start exploring, finding things out, causing general chaos. Eventually they do find their way to the Summerridge house, go on a mission with Thea, which we'll talk about at another point. That mission did not go very well.
No, it did not.
Did not. Ended with the daughter of two very powerful ex-adventurers dying. So they return to the Summerridge home, sans Thea. And Fenric is waiting there.
Also, weren't they sans their equipment?
Yes, they were.
Naked as wee babbies.
The thing is, it was just literally locked in the little closet next to the cells. If they had spent 5 seconds looking, they would have had it back.
That's a different story.
That's a different story. But they return to the Summer Age home, and Fenric is waiting there like, yeah, so we need to talk. And Asper is just not happy to see him, and she just starts snarking him. And he, being him, one is relieved to see her alive and in one piece. And then she's basically trying to prove that she's the better magic user. And thanks to the spells that Brian and Andrew helped me pick out for Mr. Fenric, our little toast boy, let's just say it was fun just counterspelling casually.
Abjuration wizards. The reason why I will go to bat for abjuration wizards after all this time of like, when I first started, boom boom is best. But abjuration just, no one expects the tank mage. No one expects you to be able to take a hit. No one expects you to be able to deflect the hit. You're not the warrior. But when you are an abjuration wizard, first of all, the extra hit points is unbelievably helpful. From that ward that you can replenish with you replenish it with counterspell. So even if you did get hit by something, countering does work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I play my abjuration wizard like a chess piece. He's the king directing the pieces on the board. You buff, you counter, you control. Everything is, you're a blue mage. If you play magic, you're blue. Abjuration is blue magic. And it pisses off every other type of magic user, and it's glorious. So when we were developing Fenric, Andrew and I, we both play magic. We both looked at each other and we're like, blue. He's blue. Mono blue. Just go for it.
So he was counterspelling what she was doing, and at one point, like, she was just mouthing off to him, and he just quietly banished her just for a moment. Like, let her think about what she's doing. He turns to the rest of the party, very gentlemanly, offers about making some tea, having some, refreshments. It was not his home, but he was, he's been there often enough that he could help host while the actual hosts were away dealing with things violently. But he was playing host and trying to get to know the party, and the fighter was very distrustful, very angry about it. But the rest of the party liked him. And Asper's player came to me after the fact, and she was both, what's the good phrase for it? She was angry because of how much chemistry she was having with him. Because she was expecting someone so bland and boring.
Oh no! My type!
Oh no! My type! Because I know her very well. I know her type. And here he is. Her toast boy.
Suave and sexy as the day is long.
Mm-hmm.
As well as other appendages.
But of course. I think that wraps up our DM's Corner for today.
Oh, no, not quite yet. You're getting ahead of yourself. What, dear Dungeon Master, did you learn from building Fenric? As you said, you came to two other people who had been playing longer than you had in order to develop him. So what did you learn about developing this particular NPC and any NPCs like him in the future?
Ooh,
Because I think some of that may have come out in some other NPCs that we will shine a spotlight on in the future.
That, sometimes it's, well, first off, abjuration magic is actually really pretty cool when you think about it.
That's cool.
More than just boom boom magic. And it's just nice to have friends to bounce the ideas off of, because I don't think I could have made him as cool as he ended up being without their help.
We're very good friends and very bad enemies.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And sometimes spite can make something even more fun. But that wraps up this DM's Corner. I've been Nicole.
I've been Brian.
Thanks for joining us. Bye!
Bye!
Hit it, outro guy.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Dungeon Master's Corner. If you'd like to support us, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/reliably chaotic to help us raise awareness of abjuration superiority. You can also drop us a line on Twitter at reliably chaotic. We'd love to hear from you.